Returning to my Coin Lady channel, I am pleased to see you again. It won't be long until the biotech and big tech industries converge. Firms like Neuralink and BlackRock are getting closer together. The consequences of this, in my opinion, are beyond the existing understanding of these firms' goals by many. To start, Neuralink is going to be something that can program people's brains directly, not through manipulation of social media like we're seeing online now, but by implanting a chip into their brain that can access their thoughts and emotions and maybe even punish them for certain thoughts. If you pay attention to Whitney Webb's words, you can begin to see the truth behind what she's saying, that BlackRock and other corporations are funding these technologies so that they will be available in the future, even though it sounds like the most ludicrous conspiracy theory ever. Here, listen carefully. So, what does our data have to say? For the simple reason that it will determine the course of many of your lives. And I believe it to be really vital. The video is ready. Also, I think it's important to mention this before we finish talking about O'Neill here. To be honest, he's very associated with the color teal. We mentioned how extensive it is throughout the piece. In addition, after leaving government service and his position with a teal-affiliated BC, O'Neill spent a lot of time working with the SENS Research Foundation, an organization focused on finding cures for age-related illnesses. To put it simply, it's one of those Silicon Valley health foundations that aspires to provide technologies that can prolong life. Also, the concept of immortality is really appealing to a lot of wealthy tech guys. Brian Johnson is among the most notorious of these. He and Peter Thiel, for instance, were keen on injecting themselves with the blood of young individuals in order to maintain their youth. Indeed, the SIMS Research Foundation is dedicated to exploring biotech, such as mRNA and DNA vaccines, and other similar technologies, with the aim of extending human lifespans. It is worth noting that this foundation is also supported by Thiel. O'Neill and Blake Masters, who is essentially a Thiel version of J.D. Vance, are among the many Thiel-affiliated figures present. Thiel also funded Masters' unsuccessful political career. He also served alongside O'Neill on the SIMS Research Foundation. Additionally, they place a lot of emphasis on that particular facet of biotech. And I suppose it's reasonable to take a peek. After all, there's a lot of overlap between Silicon Valley's big tech and big pharma. As you mentioned in your essay on the WHO and permanent pandemic markets, there has been this effort, and I've been covering it extensively since the COVID era, basically. The conventional wisdom holds that big pharma's income model has essentially hit rock bottom. The pharmaceutical industry has publicly hinted at this. This problem is known as the patent cliff. So, they've been venturing into biotech, often in joint ventures with large tech companies like Google, to avoid patent cliffs, which are essentially associated with products going generic and the fact that pharmaceutical companies don't make as much money when their products aren't exclusive. As an added bonus, many of these businesses are now fundamental components of the national security apparatus for mass monitoring in addition to being big contractors for the national security state. I would contend that the idea of selling biosurveillance is really just a cover for what is widely recognized as the next big thing in mass surveillance, monitoring people's bodies through wearables, and eventually, nanomedicines implanted inside their bodies. That is, the goal is to increase sales of healthcare products. I would also include brain-computer interfaces, BCIs, such as Neuralink, which are machines that communicate with computers. The same holds true for brain-machine interfaces, or BCIs, in my opinion. That the final say in their approval lies with the FDA. The Food and Drug Administration often designates these as breakthrough devices, relieving part of the regulatory burden associated with them. But we do have Elon Musk, who is currently playing a major role in government. As a special government employee, he is not required to sell any of his companies. Another former PayPal mogul, David Sachs, is also not required to do the same. In his new role as crypto AI czar, he may team up with someone like O'Neill, who is a strong proponent of AI in healthcare. That several pharmaceutical companies are preparing to unleash these chips under the pretense of health monitoring is, perhaps, the most bizarre thing happening here. However, the truth is that these chips, which may be implanted in many areas of your body, including your brain, could be utilized for actual spying on you or other people. Regardless of your location, or the route you take, it will turn you into a walking, talking tracking device. If you're in conversation with someone the Secret Services are interested in, or if you are someone they are interested in, they can use this chip to basically track you. Additionally, it could have additional uses. For example, in the event of a cardiac arrest, it could notify the nearest ambulance of your whereabouts and transmit an alert immediately. Because it is such a drastic intrusion into people's privacy and control over their own bodies, I don't think most people will support it. Plus there are many other dangers involved. Just think about the potential consequences of the government keeping tabs on your every move and word. It's scary to think about how such power may be misused. Are you guys truly prepared to take that chance? Your attention in seeing my video is greatly appreciated. When you're done, hit that subscribe button and let me know what you think.